Hello, everybody. Today we are continuing our getting to know meetings. And today we have Diana Varco with us, who will tell us a little bit more about herself and her performance Shattered that participates during ProAct Fest 2022. And I give the word to you, Diana. Tell us, please, a little bit about yourself, performance.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful and happy to be part of the ProAct Fest. So thank you very much. My name is Diana Varco, and I do a show Shattered. It's a solo show told through 35 characters. And it basically is a story about a trauma survivor navigating dating and relationships. It peeks into the mind of how we think about going through our lives and finding love and learning about what we like and what we don't like. But it's all told through the process of healing. So I'm currently at Edinburgh Fringe right now. I'll be performing it later this week. And then virtually, I'm with you in Ukraine, showcasing my show to support the ProAct Fest.
Wow, 35 characters. Sorry, I was just blown up by this slide. Yeah. Everything else was like, can you tell about this? How was creating the show? Why 35 characters? How come that, you tell this story, particular story, what was inspiring you to do it?
Yeah, so my background is in improv and performance. So I'm used to playing click change characters. I'm used to telling stories from a variety of perspectives, because that comes out of my improv and comedy and sketch background. But I didn't know how I was going to tell this story. I didn't ever really intend to tell this story. These were secrets that I had kept inside that were very private to me and very painful. I basically ran out of excuses not to tell my story. So I had met my director, and I saw that she had this similar style where she used comedy and satire and character work to bring about social messages. And I just started to write. I didn't know that it would be told through characters. I didn't know that it would even be funny. I just needed to get the story out. So I remember I set a date in 2017. I set the date in 2016 at the end, but the premiere date was in 2017. And I just started writing. I was in a moment of panic when I didn't know how I would bring about commentary on these topics. And then in that moment of panic, the character Shame walked through the door in my mind. And from that moment, Shame was met with other characters. Truth popped in, denial popped in. And as I approached different story points, I found that there were other characters, whether they were of the mind or whether they were of my background and my experience, that really wanted to aid and usher the story. So everything just kind of unfolded. And some of the characters are sounds. I found that there was one point where I didn't know how I was going to tell the story because I wanted to keep the anonymity of the experience. And so I told the story from the perspective of the room, or I told the story instead of saying a name, I use a beep. So there's different mechanisms I use depending on what I'm trying to convey.
Sounds really, really intriguing to see all this acting being involving in the text. So you wrote the story. You are also the author of the text. How is it different for you, the writing process, when you were writing and imagine this from the moment when you went on stage and started rehearsing it, preparing it, because you said the story has a lot of your secrets, right? So did you have some distance when you already went on stage, or it was like first rehearsals were too uncomfortable to speak these things out loud? Like, how was it for you?
So by the time I had started writing it, I had already been through many years of therapy. So the pieces I was approaching were, they were really supported in a therapeutic environment. that said, I did have some revelations as I was writing. At times I did have to take breaks, but I was on such a tight time schedule that those breaks had to be limited because I had to get a show up and running. I've really found that as I've continued to do this show, different pieces of my story and different pieces of my healing have in a way been given a container on the stage to be witnessed, to be processed, and to be supported in my own telling of the story, but also in how people react and how people are it's almost like a communal healing, whether it's me telling my story for their benefit and then their truth and their reactions actually come full circle to me too. So it's been like almost a communal experience. And I've found that the writing was much different than the performance, especially at this point, because I've been doing it for 5 years. So in the writing, it was very much approaching it from a creative perspective. And when I got on stage, it was very much approaching it from the artistic perspective, but also emotive. It gave me an opportunity to emote these feelings that were too big for me to express in real life. And through the characters, I'm able to express them from a different perspective, which is gives me a distance from it too. It's been really cool.
Sounds really amazing. I also wanted to ask about this social part of it. So I read the reviews that you talk about really like important social problem, but through comedy. So can you explain how did you combine these things? Why comedy? And you already told that you had improv background, but maybe there is some other reason, or yeah.
Yeah, I naturally approach life through that lens. I naturally reframe things. I think that comes from the comedy background, but also comes from a therapeutic background of trying to make sense of experiences. I didn't intend it to be funny or comical. I just wanted people to understand and to listen to me. And I knew that using a comedy lens would help people step into this story. As I was writing that, I was very much aware of making sure that I took care of the audience, even though we're going into some very difficult experiences. That said, the parts of the trauma are not funny. They're not meant to be funny. They're not in any way downplayed or made a joke of, I guess. There are parts where people have a release through sometimes laughter or breath during some of the really difficult parts, but that was because it was so truthful to my experience. So there's this one part in the show where my mind is attacking me because I really wanted to bring to life the ways that people who experience PTSD, at times we can become, or it has been my experience, that I could become an enemy unto myself. I wanted to bring that piece of the experience to light. So there's this moment where my mind is attacking me. And then all of a sudden the character of Denial goes, "We are fine." And it's like very clear we're not fine. So it's like the truth of it allows people a little bit of laughter, but it's not a funny moment, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think that one of the things we also here experience is that, yeah, laughter is one of the most, I don't know, the strongest elements of theater that can help not only just to enter the story easier, but also develop like some kind of relationships with you on stage when people laugh. It's really important tool. And how about participating in the festival? I know that the story of your performance has a lot of festivals already. And how do you think, I don't know, that the story or the performance changes with each year, with each festival? Does it change actually? And how the I don't know, the digital experience, like in ProActFest, is different from the experience of live audience for you.
Oh yes, definitely. It's interesting because at this time last year or a few months before, I was not going to continue to do Shattered. I didn't really know if there was a pathway forward for it, and then I started doing virtual festivals, and it's like I've done so many festivals over the last year, virtually and now in person, because we were in COVID. So it's really expanded my opportunity. It allowed me to connect with organizations that um, I might not have the ability to go meet with them. They might not have the ability to bring me in, but through virtual, we can connect. I have friends all over the world now, including you all, where I'm able to showcase my work and connect too. So virtual has really opened doors up for me. It is very different showcasing virtually versus in person, because especially with the story I'm telling, I do think that it's much more of a full experience in person, and people. I think it's important to watch in community and also to watch it in its full hour-long performance. I find that with virtual, sometimes people might be watching it in bits, which helps for the content or helps for people's schedule. But I find that it's not the same experience as watching it in community in the theater. There's just nothing like being together, and I think we've all missed that a lot.
Yes, right. I really hope that one day, maybe even next year, we could invite you here in Kiev personally to experience watching your show in community and together. But I'm really pleased and really thankful for participating like this virtually, because it's still a chance and I'm still looking forward to see the show. We were busy with all the ski section, but this week for sure we will watch the
Oh,
shows. And
I'm sure you're very busy.
no, well, right now all the business goes to watching the shows. Is there anything else you would really like to add and I didn't ask you?
I would just say it's really wonderful and beautiful that you're continuing to make art in these circumstances. And I think that that really um, brings voice to the power of the arts. And I know in my own
That
life, yeah, yeah, in my own life, the theater has been a really powerful vehicle to allow me to make sense of experiences that are just actually very overwhelming. So it's really, really beautiful that you're still continuing to make art, and that I'm able to be part of this. So I just really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you so much. And let's invite again our audience, those people who watch this video, to watch Shattered on Scene Saver. It's still available till 31st of August. So go and watch.
Thank you. Please do. Please do.
Thank you so much, Diana.
Thank you. It was lovely to talk with you.
Bye.